All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today's Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. And we're doing this live here. Just decided to kind of on a whim to do that. I'm trying to do like some of these once a month at least publicly. For members, we do every Thursday. But I figured just do this live here. Tomorrow is CPI day. And we'll get into the charts here. Thank you for that video. It sounded good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes you start talking and then it's no good. But anyway, if you're watching this back afterward, if you want to help me out, if you get bored after the first 10 minutes, put it on mute and then just let it run. It helps out the channel, tells YouTube that the content is good. Also, if we get to 50 likes, maybe I'll give out some SPX Scammer Boy levels for tomorrow. Then maybe if we get to 100, we'll see. Maybe another one. But anyways, let's go into the charts here today. I'm going to do the format a little bit differently. But we'll get into kind of the analysis here as per usual. So right now, yeah, good volatility, really. This is a market, and I've said this lately, like especially to my traders, you got to take gains level to level here. This is not a tape to get greedy on. So when we had that big pump this morning on PPI, if you're long here, make sure you're scaling out on the way up. We had a long earlier, just to recap the day, we had a long earlier up here. We were looking for max downside to be right around here as an ad. We DCA'd, made some good money on it, and took, scaled out right near the highs. Then we dropped back here and scaled out again on the bounce. So now we have kind of risk-free into tomorrow, a really small position. But this market will punish you for not taking gains. It's a heavy whipsaw tape. We have Opex this week. Right now, still bears are in control, right? So when you're in a bear period, anything can happen. We can see lots of volatility. I said yesterday at the close, I said, be careful when they pump it really hard in a bear period right into the end of the day and we don't reclaim a resistance. That's usually going to tell you there's going to be some, either they're going to gap it down and wipe everybody out, or there's going to be some serious whipsaw the next day, which there was. And that's the tape we're in. And a lot of whipsaw today. That said, we did do some good retracing, and we talked about our lows in yesterday. I'd say there's a good chance of that being in right now, at least for this particular leg. Why do I say that? Bears have not followed through with this breakdown. They kind of followed through a little bit on Friday, right? And we said, okay, well, bears definitely in control here, and they need to be respected. But Monday, Tuesday, so far, dip's been bought. And if we take a look at ES, probably about visible on SPX too, but you can see we went right to, this is a picture perfect retrace, right? 618 right there. And I've been following this macro trend line as well, right here. And that's helped me out also, like right there. So 58.50, good bounce, and they've held that area. I just, I don't know, I see this as a pretty good retrace day after a good bull move. Now, yesterday, I would have liked it if there was more of a pivot low. I told you yesterday that I wish we could have just flushed to 5,800. And we never really, this was kind of like a poor low, right? We talked about that, how it's like down, and then there wasn't a real pivot. There was no vol spike. There was no like V shape. Might have just been also, this also, my partner and Frank and I talked about this. This may have been like a little bit of a rescue operation too. Somebody was trapped down here short pre-election, and they needed that, some help from their buddies to get out of there, because it looked like there was no stop run yesterday. It just kind of bottomed, right? But tomorrow, how are we looking here? I think, they might sweep this low tomorrow again. It's very possible. I would like to see it. I would really like to just get that 5,800 tag out of the way. But that said, I think if that happens, we're going to see volatility spike, and I think we'll bottom sooner than later, honestly. So I think right now, and you guys know that, that's kind of been my case here lately anyway is that we're closer to a squeeze than we are to any sort of significant. Like I certainly wouldn't go low short down here. I'd be looking to play a bounce. Even if we dumped out tomorrow, I would just look to get DCA'd in, honestly. We also had, so PPI this morning, bonds got a pop, didn't follow through, but they closed kind of just like inside of the range from Friday. So again, sellers keep pushing this down, but they're not getting a lot of reward, right? Like, I mean, first of all, RSI is in the basement, but we're not like breaking the low, but we're not like closing below. So I think bond shorts are really piled in here. And I mean, could CPI be hot tomorrow? Yeah, I mean, sure could, but I think you spike up and then that's probably it, honestly. I think bond shorts are just really piled in. Another thing that tells me that, as I've been mentioning this over the last couple of days, look at XHB. So this followed through on good, producer price index, VNQ, right? So these are housing. They followed through on that. Bonds did not, but you know what else followed through? To the downside, rather, was the dollar. So yields were kind of like lackadaisical in reaction, whereas the dollar and housing sector was strong. Another sector that was strong all day was the Russell. And even on that little slice there in the afternoon, look what sold off, right? Let's go to an intraday. But the Russell did not sell off, like hardly at all, has a higher low. Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, basically XLK names. So rate sensitive sectors held up today, even though rates kind of inched higher. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. So I think the market's in decent shape here, at least for a low. Now, big level to get through. We're gonna watch this too. I did tweet about this. 58.70. You'll remember, I think it was like 3 weeks ago. I talked in the Sunday night video. I was like, watch 58.70. That's a big level, and there it is. There it is. There it is. You can make a case. It's a little sloppier now, but you have an inverse head and shoulder there too. On the intraday. And if we just drop a measured move here, it's 100 points basically, like 57.70. Not gonna be straight, but there you go. 57.70 to 58.70, right? That takes you up there, which basically brings you to a stone's throw away from 6K. And again, that downsloping trend line again. So we'll see if that works out. Another thing I'm watching here on the Qs is this falling wedge that I've been talking about for weeks, or the 2 weeks, but I predicted this might happen, a possible path. Not so much predicted, I predicted, but I thought we would get to 4-hour oversold. I would have liked it if we got, and hit that and maybe pierce that 4-hour 200 MA. Maybe they do it tomorrow, tomorrow morning, but that falling wedge is still valid. And if we look at something else like the diamond here, again, sold off hard Friday, no follow through. We're above the breakdown candle. All right, big trend line here, third hit, pretty good. IWM, 200 MA hit, flushed follow through, no follow through, 618. Again, lots of room for higher lows in SMH. Wasn't that strong today, but it has higher lows here. So that's kind of my kind of overall look here. Dow Transports, by the way, again, bear flag look, but we just gapped above the 20 and we made a higher high and closed right at the highs of the session too. So again, this is getting positive, positive money flow here. If this can hold, it can go up to 16.6. If that happens, I mean, the market's probably going to, hold up well. We've got bank earnings tomorrow too. XLF getting a good pop. Again, same chart. Bear flag, down one day, no follow through. So we got JP now. Earnings is earnings. These all gap and crap, gap and pump, whatever. Every which way. But we got Goldman, JPM. I think Wells. Let me just double check. I think BlackRock, Citi, and Bank of New York. So we'll see how that goes. Let's just quick cover commodities. Crude pulling back just a little bit, 73 cents. It's a little overbought. Extended XLE acting well. Again, back above the 200 DMA. XOP still pretty strong, and OIH inching up as well. CCJ, a little bit of a bounce there. And MMJ, not really much going on. Nat Gas, still hanging in there. I'm not touching this right now, though. Massive reversal yesterday, but this thing has been all over the place. Again, dollar hitting 110, it's backing off. I'd say back below probably 108.50 would be problematic for bulls. Definitely 108 because you have a pivot high there. So that's how we know that there's serious rejection going on if that does happen. Gold held up okay. It's interesting how it acted after PPI though. PPI was super cold and then it popped and then it sold off, but then it closed back up. So a lot of whipsaw there. Again, if the market, here's my other thought is that why that happened. Or I should say, if we get a cool number tomorrow, gold might not necessarily rally even though it should. Because if the market rallies, it might be like, okay, risk on. We don't care about gold really. But anyway, you saw silver here fractionally higher. Platinum got hit. Palladium holding up. And then copper here also green. Another thing too, somebody brought this up in the trading room this morning. But it's like interesting how Bitcoin can be a leading indicator. It can. That was a beautiful liquidity grab yesterday. So again, you watch that spike that low, and it held up all day long. Even despite the selling that we had in the afternoon, this did not sell. It's actually just flagging here on the hourly. That's actually pretty strong there. It's a nice pattern. So that's kind of the general just rundown here. Try to keep it more concise because we're doing us live, so we've got questions and so on. Let me see. If we get to 50, we'll give out some. We got 30 likes. If we get to 50, I'll give out some largest SPX gamma for tomorrow. I'll give you the 2 largest. Anyways, I'll get into questions here. So appreciate everybody showing up. What a day, what a week, what a month, yeah. It already feels like it's been a year, doesn't it? Like, you know, by the way, this is 5%. Yeah. It feels like 20%. Remember back at the end of the year, I was like, this feels like we're down like 20% for the year, but we're up 25. But that, you know, that's kind of how these grind out. And I think that's kind of how quarter one's going to be. It's going to be a grinding out kind of, you know, it's going to be like this a lot, I think, this quarter. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Hit the like button. You guys share. It helps out too. Brandon got stopped out twice in profit on that mid-morning bounce. Yeah, I mean, and that, like, I've had that happen on like almost every trade. I feel like the past 2 weeks where, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, literally 5 out of the 9 trades I've closed out this year in the trading room have been stopped out. The runners have been stopped out, like in the money, but they stopped out. Usually, like, it's not that frequent. Usually, like, I'll leg out one, leg out again, and then the tiny runner gets stopped out. But this time, the second leg is getting stopped out. So you got to take level to level here. I mean, they gapped us above this big area, right? And it didn't hold very long, did it? And then boom. And the sellers didn't last very long either. So yeah, you gotta be aggressively taking gains out here. Yep, SPY, ES, SPX. Would I use all 3 of them? Brandon saying, yeah, this is bulls grabbing liquidity of retail bears. The market was pumped hard when Trump was elected. Retests the breakout. He gets put in next week. Had the bullishness after op. I think, yeah, yeah, that would be kind of my general lean here. I don't know too much about the inauguration. A lot of people are predicting like a pump into inauguration, a sell into inauguration. I don't think the inauguration has a lot to do with it. I think January Opex has like more than anything has to do with it. It just happens to line up, a day or whatever before. What's the inauguration? The 20th Monday. So the 17th, right, is Opex. There's just a lot of pull here. I mean, look at 600 SPY. I think I mentioned this yesterday. Like, it's not a coincidence that they backed this off of this. Like it makes a lot of sense here. This is a leap month, right? People have been buying 600 calls and selling 600 puts and hedging for 600 probably for the last year. Is it not a coincidence that QQQ is right at 500, right? Like this stuff, they're burning out this premium here, right? So I think we can, if they get some traction here tomorrow, we could see a squeeze, but I wouldn't expect, personally, I'm not expecting like multi-day like that. I think that it'll still be choppy. Even if we go up to, like I said, like close to 6K, I think you'll still pull back very sharply after. There's going to be a lot of premium moved around here. And then we have expiration on the 22nd. So a lot of premium there too. Business. He's like I've known him for a couple of years. He's in the trading room with me, and he's the one helping me kind of come up with the like GEX program that we use. So he helps out a lot. He's probably in here right now. Unless he's at his real job. JK asking, what do you think about dump to positive yesterday and pump to weakness today? I don't think we were weak today. We were in the meeting that we closed strong though, and futures closed pretty strong too. They're up, so it's about how they close them. And I mean, it's fractionally higher, but what I like is that you here's the thing too, but just by the way, I know it's like, it doesn't look like it because we're so used to this range now, but this is 110 points from here to here. It's a big move. I know it doesn't look like it. Like if you just go from here to here, it just looks like a normal day, but it's 110 points. It's a lot. So you're going to retrace some of that usually. And we retraced a 618, so that's a bull retrace usually. My only mistake, well, it wasn't a mistake, it worked out, but I thought we were going to kind of go up this morning and kind of retest like up here on ES, or we use like SPY, like 587. There was a little bit of gamma up there this morning, and that's kind of been a mini point of control lately. I thought we would go up there and then pull back. We didn't quite do that, so I had to pivot. But that's another thing too, is just making sure you're in this market. Make sure you can pivot. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to get stuck. And if you do, use, especially in this market, like it's not the same market as it was most of last year, right? Look at this. Look at the range on like these candles here, like 40-point range, 25-point range, even like these big days here. That's still like 80 points, 75 points. We're moving that fast in like hours. This is fast. It's a fast market, so got to size down a little bit. But I think it's okay. I think the market held up okay. And even if there was weakness tomorrow, I don't really think we're going to go too much below this trend line here. I think you'll see volatility spike, and then that'll run enough stops. Tozy asked about Lily. Yeah, Lily took a shot today. Healthcare was XLV was pretty strong yesterday. This held support though. For it being down as much as it was today, it really didn't break, and it didn't really do any technical damage. Yeah, I mean, this is the level. Oops, I'm going to go to the weekly. Yeah, this has been like that range here. I'm not saying it's like, you could make a case that's an MA pattern, that's a top. But Short term though, I mean, if you could reclaim like 760, you could squeeze up. Let me see. Yeah, 750. I think it's going to close the week at. It might close the week at 750. I'll say that. They might want more blood though. I think after this week, it actually gets kind of bullish. Yeah, 750. But it held, it held support. Maybe it goes to 700. I don't know. But yeah, it took a hit. XLV still looks all right though. That can break 142. I did have some XLV actually. I actually had Cure. I actually stopped out of it on Friday just because I still liked it, but I just didn't really like how we. If we flushed out on the spiders, I didn't think this was going to hold up. So I just took a small loss there. But it's still all right. NVO though, yeah, NVO's gotten pounded. This monthly, look at this retrace here. Yeah, I mean, this is actually a pretty good level though. On the bigger time frame, let's see, a weekly 200. This is a good area. I actually like this, honestly. 618 there. I mean, you're buying some volatility. You're buying some fear here. You take it to the pandemic low. Yeah, through that. 2016 low, 50% retrade. This is not a bad chart here. It's absolutely been hammered too. And this company makes money too. This is not some crappy that's a big support area. This is a technique I call stacking fibs. By the way, cheap plug here. The course is still on sale, 40% off till Friday. Lots of new stuff in there. A lot of new stuff. But this is a technique I taught. It's called stacking fibs. So you got the 50% hit fib here from this major low. And then if we take the recent one, it's into a 618. Even like kind of this one is still right in there. And then you've got the weekly 200 MA, monthly 50. Those always tend to line up. And then this breakout. Oh, here you go. This consolidation level. You even have like that slight lower low there. Stop run. Weekly is oversold. Stocks like this don't get weekly oversold very often. Like this is a blue chip company. Yeah, last time it was like that was in 2016 and 2009. Oh no, 2008. So it took a financial crisis to make that happen. So I definitely, you get me interested now in NVO here. Let's see, do they have, I think, didn't they report kind of recently? When's their earnings? We got 46 likes, by the way, 4 more, and I'll give out a SPX GEX for tomorrow, at least the largest levels. 129, so they have earnings on the 29th. So I would kind of, I'd have to look into it more, but it's definitely really interesting down here. I like charts like this. Yeah, and the GLP-1 hype probably is over, but it's still like, it's not like this company doesn't make money. Like this is a blue chip. But yeah, interesting. So thanks for that chart. I do like that. JKS, do you think Bitcoin is bottom? Tom Lee says it's going to 50, 70, maybe 50K. We have like this giant inside joke in my community about Tom Lee. He said 70 to 50K, and then it makes new highs, of course. I mean, I could see it happening. I wouldn't rule anything out with Bitcoin. You're asking if it bottomed. I think in the short term, yeah, that's a nice liquidity grab there. I don't see it advancing too much here though yet. If we've got, if this weekly 50, or sorry, weekly 20 MA catches up and we're still going sideways, I think it can pump. But I think right now, short term, yeah, it's probably bottomed. Unless it really breaks this level with conviction, then you're probably going to like 85. But yeah, right now it's holding up okay. Looks fine. That's another thing too. I've mentioned like every day. If this market was really, really risk off, why the hell is Dogecoin making higher lows? Why is Pepe still making higher lows? Why is Fartcoin, you know, still holding up? Like this stuff should have topped out. Like you can make a case it's topped out, but this stuff should be like dumping, right? Way before the S&P tops out. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're working on it. Kyler is saying weird price action for a bottom. I agree. What I was saying yesterday, and again, Frank and I were talking about this, my partner here. It almost looks like a rescue operation, right? This does happen on the street where somebody got trapped here short and they went to Jamie Dimon, or you know, somebody said, hey, we need to get out of this. Then they got out, right? Because it looked more like a short covering operation than anything. It wasn't like you can see here clearly, right? Nobody got stopped out here. Like it wasn't a stop run. You can tell when stops get run, right? It's like this, you know. It's actually what we just looked at on Bitcoin, right? Yesterday. That's a stop run. So yeah, definitely it does happen though. I've seen it happen before. Yeah, the Dow too. True Trade saying, yeah, I mean, like another thing with the DIA or the Dow, trend line there again, but you never really made a weekly like lower high attempt. So bears have not really proven anything on the down. I mean, they're in control, but they haven't proven like a lower high here. So this can go up just as fast as it went down. And another thing, speaking of that too, with the Qs, like I said yesterday, where's the damage on the weekly chart? I don't see it. You know, you're just into the 20 moving average. Okay, like that's a normal retrace. You can make a case that's just a bull flag, right? But yeah, I think you're right about that. Silver, I think it's fine. Yeah, it's going to bounce around. Usually the like kind of third hit of a trend line kind of fakes out, and then what you want to see here is, do we get a higher low here, right? Because let me just like adjust this just so it's easier to see. Right down, up, lower low, higher low, lower high. But do we make a higher low here? If that happens, we'll go through it. I think gold and silver are fine though. I think they'll act well. They'll act well. There's tight range. They're getting ready. All right, we got 58 likes here. We'll get to. I'll just do it now. So it's not like any sort of spectacular number, but 5,900 is largest by quite a bit too, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, 5,900 is largest dealer magnet for tomorrow by quite a bit. The next largest is 5,800. And then there's a little bit of in the middle at 5,850. You know, if we blow through 5,800 on CPI, will that change? Yeah, absolutely. Right. But that, you know, we'll see where we're at. We'll see where we're at. Those are levels for tomorrow. And I think that's about the same. It's pretty much, looks kind of like that for pretty much the rest of the week too. So we'll see if that is consistent. If we get to 100 likes, I'll do another one. We'll do Qs or SPY, or you guys can pick one or something. Maybe we'll do 2. Brandon saying SPY's just a retest of 20-week MA. If it fails, then bears are in control. Otherwise, just to buy the dip. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, it's just we've seen this movie many times. It feels like we're down a lot more, right? Like it's felt like a grind, but yeah, we're just at the 20 MA, and you know, I've been saying this lately too. Like the bears are working their asses off just to get. We're still right at 5870 on SPX. Like they've been pushing this for a month, and where's the reward? You know. So I think if we flush out hard, I don't think it'll last too long. You'll get a vol spike and it'll get bought. I'm not sure how to say it. ASCE. Thoughts on potential grind out during Opex, then failure, head and shoulders, and MLK Tuesday. Oh yeah, that's right. We got the next Monday off. And then all-time high. It's very possible. It's very possible. Yeah, because technically right now, let's see if I have it. Yeah, I actually got it on SPY. I know I switched between all 3 of these. I have the Rolodex of all the levels on each 3 of these in my head. So sorry if that's a little sporadic, but yeah, technically, yeah, this would be a failure technically if we close above. I would just say 585, just because it's kind of, you know, it's not the best. Like, you could argue the neckline should be here, you know. So I would just say above 5. Hell, you know what? Let's just say above this candle. That's a failure. So 586. And by the way, if it fails, I don't think it won't be in question. Like it'll be obvious. But yeah, if that does happen, I mean, you look at ES here. This is what I'll do. If we start ripping, I'm just going to say, okay, well, that's where the market that's where the trend line needs to be now, because that's where it's respecting. And yeah, I mean, you could make the case that like literally all this is, if we just clean this up, and we can put this back on. You know, all it was like a retrace to this pre-July high, election low, and I mean, what is stopping that from happening? There's really, I don't think you can make a case for that. I mean, other than, yeah, the bears come in control and they stop it, but like that's not an invalid case at all. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I definitely wouldn't rule it out. True trade scene. You also think this is similar to 2022 top? I don't think so. It is similar. Still believe we're in bull market. It's similar. I think we're in a macro bull market, but I do think that personally, I think we have to like give some back this like the first half of the year. So I'm kind of expecting more consolidation. Like if we make a new high, I think it's more like nominal. And then I think we kind of give some back. I'm not like super bearish, but I think like even if we just declined to, like, it's going to seem so far away, but 5,500 is only 10% from here. And like, I don't know, like 53 would essentially just be back checking to here. What's that, like 13%? Like if we do that over 6 months, is that unreasonable? Considering the Qs are up 110%, 110% since right here. So in 2 years, we've also never had a 10% correction on the S&P. Since there, I think this was only like 7.5. This was like 7.8, I think. So I do think we can give some back, but I'm not like super bearish. Yeah, copper. Yeah, I if I traded this just off of anticipation, I would have done really well. But I don't. I try not to do that because copper commodities are weird. But yeah, I mean, it totally just. Yeah, I like knew they were gonna do that. I wasn't confident enough to just jump in front of it because it's a commodity. But yeah, they did it pretty nicely. Got a lot of supply right up here though. But yeah, nice failed breakdown. see, we got 72 likes. To get to 100, I'll do QQQ and SPY X. Maybe IWM. Yep, earnings. Yep. We got banks tomorrow. And then I think tech is, yeah, Netflix on, oh, by the way, Taiwan Semi Thursday morning, by the way. So that's a big one. We got Netflix on the 21st. Then PG, Johnson & Johnson. Next week, TXN on next Thursday. That's a big one. Airlines. And then the week after, we start getting tech. Oh, by the way, speaking of tech and speaking of earnings, the week of the 24th, the stock buyback window opens up again. So just in time for them to, do stock buybacks. For Tim Cook to do $100 billion. Appreciate it, JK. Thank you. Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate it. I just saw that. Sorry. Just saw that. Thank you. Nicholas saying market sell off tomorrow, then rally into Trump to offset the lows. It could, yeah. Shay's saying market will not sell off. I don't think it will. I could see a sweep down at the low, though. I could see a sweep, but I think bulls defended pretty well today. Ducati saying, do you see QQQ hitting 515 then drop to 490? That's possible too. 515. I think you're just looking at. Oops, you're looking at the trend line kind of. It's possible. And hey, right now, for S&P, like bulls still need to clear that trend line. So like that's still bear camp right now. Too, so it's possible. I wouldn't rule anything out. I've been taking this real slow, like level to level here lately. Yeah, the bearish sentiments are too high. Yeah. AAII was pretty high this past week. So that's usually once you start getting past 37 or so on this, it's pretty good. And bulls decline each of the last 5 weeks. This only goes back 4, but there was a 5th week. I think this is the highest since August 5th. So, or that August dump. We also had last Wednesday, because market was closed Thursday, put call hit 1.73. That's really high. It was down a little bit on Friday, but it doesn't really matter. Like once it hits that, it's usually a sign. And it was still at like 0.1. I think fear, greed, CNN hit like, I think it dropped to like 23. So we're definitely we're definitely getting there. So if we did dump, it would be very short-lived. That's my kind of thought. Thank you, Jennifer. Don't forget to like, we got 79. See if we can get up there. See if we get to 100. Mr. Rob asking about Intel, and my guy Ben is in here. He knows what I'm going to say. Intel, I really like it at 1450. I know that's a long way away, but that's just where I'm not saying it's going to go there, but if it does, I've already done all the work. I did multiple calculations, everything on this. It's like 1450. I'd bid it at 1480. But I just don't know. I mean, I think there's now been like talks about floating rumors between like Qualcomm and other companies looking to buy them. I floated this idea out months ago as a joke, and like I was just looking at like looking at like Broadcom and like Nvidia's balance sheet, like how much cash do they have to do that? If they got down to $15, it would be like a $42 billion company, and yeah, Broadcom and Nvidia could buy them. Qualcomm probably could too. They'd have to structure it some way, but yeah, I don't know. Like it can't. Their old school management is finally catching up with them, I think. The only thing that saves this company is those government contracts. But NVIDIA is getting so many of them now, and AMD and all these other, Broadcom, ASML, they're all getting them too. So it could squeeze. It could always squeeze. But I just don't see anything there. But I do like 1450 though. ANF, let's look at, yeah, that stock took a hit today too. You know what, held the lows though. Again, kind of like Eli Lilly, it did hold the lows. Yeah, if it loses this, it's in a lot of trouble. But, you know, if you look at it monthly, this is just consolidating. Now, is it probably going to retrace a lot of this? Yeah, it probably will. I mean, you didn't build any support on the way up. But this could take a long time for it to do that, to retrace this. Look at this monthly chart. Like, I thought we had a recession, you know, like this is, I would say if you lose 118.03 on a monthly close, then this is in a lot of trouble. Because that was your blow off bar high. But it could take some time to do that. Did get hit pretty good the last 2 days though. It could probably go to 120 and be okay right now. Let me see. Yeah. I'm going to say 120 for now. But yeah, good hit there. NVIDIA break 130 tomorrow. I mean, if market rallies, it won't. Definitely a good reversal there. A lot of people FOMO'd this here. I think chips are okay. NVIDIA is definitely, I think, seeing some distribution though. I'm not bullish chips into Q1. I'm kind of bullish right now, short term, but because you got to look at the SMH, you got a nice higher low here, even though we had a reversal. I think this is still in okay shape. For NVIDIA, again, looking at the weekly, really not broken. We'll have to see where it closes the week out. But I do think this is distribution to me. But I think right now, just because I'm bullish stocks in general in the short term, I think it's okay. I'd say more for NVDA, probably like 125s, even like the real, like bigger level to worry about, even like 120. I think it'll be okay for now. That's all right, Lackland. It takes time. It trust me. Anybody who's a trader knows that. So just keep going and keep your expectations low. Like, don't try to get rich immediately because you're going to lose money. Just focus on honing your skills. Fugazi Fiat, I love the name. MZK 2400. What is MZK? H5. I might not have that. What's that? Commodity is that, or future is that? ZK, is that like wheat? I know wheat, or wheat CW. If you let me know what the commodities, I can look it up. I don't know if I have that exact ticker on here though. Oh, Russell. Oh, M2K, Russell. Yeah. 2400 by, it's possible. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely possible. So you have the like liquidity grab set up here. You got to clear this red bar high at 2252. The weekly, not even that bad either. Like you just retest the 50 MA. IWM. We're at 84 legs. I'll just you're 84 legs, so we're close here. 225 is still a big level for IWM. Let me just check. So I'll just do this for now for you guys since we're close. For tomorrow, 222 is a little call heavy on IWM, so that will be resistance. And I'm going to say like 215 is going to be support. These are dealer areas for tomorrow. If it really starts going, I mean, maybe it could go down to like 212, 211. That would be like the bear case. But I don't think that's really going to go much past there. We're close. We'll do QQQ if we get to 100 likes. At 86. But yeah, it's still got to get through that pesky 225 area. I believe a lot of this negative GEX rolls off after, I think a lot of this negativity rolls off after Opex. So yeah, if it gets going though, it would get up to, yeah, I mean like 230 and then 235. So for the Russell, I just use RTY. Yeah, I mean 2350 to 24, yeah. It's got to get through that stupid 225. I probably won't do it until after Opex if it's going to do it. Yeah. Mohammed asked about good old MSTR. Michael Saylor. I know I had that trade idea. It never got. I came up with that. I was hoping it would just dump to 260 or 250. What is it? What is this? 285 to 383. Should have just bought it. It was 35% in 3 days. Should have just bought it. It's all right. I think this is a blow off top. Just FYI, but I mean that is a massive reversal. But the weekly is still really not that bad. I don't like how we close below that breakup bar low, but trend-wise, it's fine. Monthly is still insane. Oops. I think these are like pre-split numbers or lines. It's not a bad pattern. It's holding up okay. Probably 425 is max move for now, I would think. It looks all right. I don't know if I would buy it, but it's not bad. If I did buy it right here when I had the idea, I would have taken some off in this area, and I'd probably just still be holding. I would like a half position or a smaller position. You're right. It was 10% for ES. He was talking about the August drop. It wasn't for the cash though. But yeah, you're right. It was about 10% for ES. It was 17 for the Nasdaq though. Game stunk. Rumble Belly asked about. Ooh. What did they do? What did they do to our boy here? Yeah, I think this wants to go to 25. I think it's going to 25. Didn't even do it on much volume though. Yeah, remember, I know I shared this in the trading room, but I said watch for this to get rejected at 35. It never quite got there, but yeah, I'd say 25 is where it's going to close this week. And I guess wasn't Kitty trying to pump this again and it didn't work? So kind of a lackluster move. Yeah, guidance will be important. Guidance will definitely be important because, I mean, if inflation's upticking, you know, and we got tariffs and all that stuff, it'll be important. Red Gas asking about Transocean. Yeah, I like anything to do with energy. So Schlumberger reporting, I think, next week. So just be aware of that. That could move the market. This is, yeah, bull flag there. Needs a lot of work, though. I mean, this has been in a downtrend for a while. Not a bad level here, though. He hit the 618. Failed to follow through. Got a lot of work to do, but yeah, I kind of like anything energy, honestly. One of the ones a lot of my members were involved in. I should have just bought this. Was DVN. Really good level. I said around 30 to 32. That's gotten a nice bid here. But yeah, rig's all right. Might need a little bit more backing and filling, and then got to clear like 450 and then 475. But I like the energy here, especially if I'm right and we do see money come out of tech in the first half of the year, it's going to go into energy. Jeff asking, do you think crypto is being propped up by Trump hope? Maybe. It definitely is consolidating quite a bit, which, I mean, it's had a big run, so it does need to back off. We'll see. I mean, if this breaks below and closes below that low, I think it's pretty safe to say it's about done for a little while. But I sold my last Bitcoin runner at 103. So I got a pretty good exit on that. I think it was 103 or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, if you're still holding run, I mean, I'm not talking about long-term positions, but runners, you just hold them. I mean, like if your cost basis is down here, still acting okay. I think ETH too. Another thing also, I really like this monthly. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with this at all. Like, there's really nothing wrong with this. So, this looks like bigger consolidation to me. But I haven't been in crypto though for a minute. Yeah, I know it's they usually get up to 100 pretty easily, but I mean, obviously, like a lot of people watch it back like hours later. We're at 90. If I get to the end of the comments and we don't have it, we'll do it. We're pretty close. Yeah, I start talking about crypto and all the bots will show up. Is it? Oh, maybe it's not updating on mine. GME wants to go to 0. Yeah, no problem, Mohammed. I have a position in Celsius, Tozy, and it's a piece of junk, isn't it? Look, it's a tiny position, but so my thesis is that this can still squeeze. Like this weekly, it's not bad, but I mean, it's not a big company, so I mean, they could just blow it down. It's going to need help from the market. It's got to get through like 30. I think it can squeeze to 35, but it's, yeah, these shorts are pushing it down. See, there's kind of a trend line here. Not really. Yeah, it's not really even the greatest, is it? If it can get through 30, I think it's got a good shot. But yeah, I mean, the level's really good too. I mean, this is here's the thing too. It took a long time. Like, it took a long, and it's probably not going to work, is it? Yeah. These little ant levels here. Yeah, but it took a long time to break through this. Like, it literally took, you know, it took like 18 months to break through this. We've been in this range for like 3 months, 4 months. So it's probably going to, take a lot to get through there. I have hope that it'll squeeze. I have a small position. If it dies, it dies. But yeah, it's been a little annoying. Brand saying if we hit 59 back to S58, it'll set up a nice cup and handle on the 1 hour. Yeah, it could. It could. Yeah, you could scoop that out. 58 would be a little deep though. $58 would be a little deep, unless you're talking about SPX or no, or ES. No, that'd be a little deep still. But yeah, you could even make the case that like on the 4 hour, even if we went up there and then pulled back with a higher low, it could be. Tyler saying neutral for tomorrow. I'm cautiously bullish. I would say, yeah, to generalize here, like I'm kind of bullish. I'm not ruling out traps though. If we try to flush, I think it's going to be very short-lived, and I think it'll be more of a trap. So I would say I'm bullish into tomorrow, but I'm not like blindly, gung-ho. Like I'm going to manage risk pretty tight. So that's kind of where I'm at here. Futures are about to open in a minute, so we'll wait on that. We got to, he said 97, maybe it's just not updating on mine. It says 91. Let's do it here. We'll do QQQ. Thanks you guys. I'm sure we'll get well over 100 likes by the end of this. It usually gets way more than that, my normal videos. But obviously not everybody's watching all at the same time. So I'll do QQQ right now if I can get a second. There we go. Because I haven't even looked at it really myself. All right, a little risk at interesting. So tech looks a little riskier than the Russell and the SPX. Interesting. There is actually a little risk here in tech. So 500 is actually 495 is kind of the largest, but 500 is pretty close. I'd say 500 is probably your big dealer level. If we break through it though, 495 for sure. And that would give you, so this is why I'm not ruling out, this is why I'm not being blindly, because that would give you that scenario. If we got to 495, that would go 4 hour oversold, pierce the 200 MA on the 4 hour. And I think you'd see algos and dip buyers come in hard. So the risk is in tech, and actually that makes sense because today that's where the risk was when we backed off, right? Like Microsoft, they got a bit into the close, but Microsoft, Tesla, Amazon, Meta, Google, Broadcom, Nvidia, GSM was okay. What's the other one? Doesn't matter. AMD, I guess, IGV. Well, IGV held up, but you look at that versus IWM, just barely sold off. And the Dow was strong all day, so tech would be the area that's got some risk tomorrow. Yeah, the Dow actually looks really supportive. So I'll just go into DIA. 420 is still a big level for this week. Sorry, 425, which we're basically into right now. And then even like 435, that's way up there though. So the Dow and the Russell, believe it or not, actually look the strongest. And I'd say SPX looks pretty good too, but Qs are a little weak. Potentially. AMD, yeah, I know everybody likes AMD. That's been, just can't get anything going, can it? What's this at right now? 116. It's got a clear it's got a clear 125 and 130. I think max risk right now is down to 110 just in the short term. I don't know if it goes there, but I think that's kind of the max risk right now. But yeah, 125 and 130 will be your magnets on the upside. Yeah, it just hasn't been able to get going, has it? It's funny because the monthly chart has like kind of a nice pullback pattern. This is a stock that lags historically. Like even look at like 2020. Right, like we had the dump, and then it took it until August, or it took it till July to break out, versus the rest of the semis. Like look at, they just went straight up. The AMD does lag historically, like, so it's not really out of character, but yeah, it just hasn't been able to get going. But 110 I think is max downside right now. Yeah, I think whipsaw for sure. Yep. Well, that's fine. We're good. I gave you the cues, so there we are. 99. There we go. So 495. So SPX 59 even. Next largest is 58. Q's 595 is technically the largest by like a little bit. But 500 is still pretty big. And if the rest of the market holds up, I think that would hold. 510 is a little bit of resistance though on the Qs, short term. IWM 222, 215, and then like 211 would be the bear. The diamond actually is like by far the most, like there's really not any downside priced in on dealer. I think 425 looks pretty good. From what I can see, I don't think they're really pricing in much downside here. Yeah, it's going to be it's 425. Unless an avalanche happens. Yeah, AMD is one of those heartbreaker stocks. Let's take a look here. So futures flat, little dip there. So we got to the end. Awesome. We got to 100 likes. I'm sure we'll go a lot higher. It usually does when people start coming in, but that's pretty good. 90 concurrent views and 100 likes. That's pretty sweet. Show the, yeah, 369 current views at least. That's a pretty good ratio. So nice. Yeah, awesome stuff, guys. Yeah, we'll see what we get tomorrow. Bank earnings, CPI. Yeah, my general thought though is if they do try to flush us, I think it doesn't last. I'm generally pretty bullish, but I'm not expecting necessarily like a trend squeeze. I think if we squeeze, you'll still get some headwinds and pullbacks. Remember, it is Opex week. There's a ton of premium expiring, and it makes sense too that the Q. So the spiders, right? SPY is well off of 600, which is that whole round number. But it does make sense that the Qs might have some weaker GEX, like I just talked about, because the 500 is such a magnet, and they want everything to expire. They want all those leaps to expire. So it does make sense to me, at least. Awesome stuff. All right, we'll wrap up here. So futures just a little bit higher right now, and we'll see what we get tomorrow morning. Expect a lot of traps. We're just seeing what we'll see what bonds do. I would just say right now, 58.70 is a big level to get above on SPX. At 585 if you follow SPY, and I think a close above Friday's high is definitely very bullish. So anyway, guys, we'll wrap it up here. Again, thanks to everybody coming out. Thanks for participating. Hope everybody enjoyed everything. I appreciate all you guys every day helping out the content, help the channel grow. Anyways.